Hi, I'm Maggie Burnett Stogner, Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Filmmaking at American University and of the CEF Impact Media Research Project funded by HHMI Tanglebank Studios. And it is my great pleasure to be here today with Donna Gadomski, Senior Director of External Affairs of the Humane Society International. And Donna, welcome and thank you for taking the time to talk with us. I would like to just say that Say Ralph is just an incredible, powerful 4-minute film that is absolutely gut-wrenching. I would like to congratulate you for being selected for one of the 2021 Jackson Wild Impact campaigns. It's an incredible film and impact campaign, and we want to hear all about it. So I'd like to just start with having you take us through the impact strategy process that you went through, and how did you end up arriving at the decision to make this particular type of film?
Sure. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And it's an incredible honor to be recognized in this category. So, Humane Society International's big campaigns include our global campaign to end cosmetic testing on animals. And most people think cosmetic animal testing is a thing of the past, yet 4 out of 5 countries still test cosmetics and their ingredients on animals. And we were looking for a different way to really reach our campaign goals, which are to end cosmetic testing in the world's most influential beauty markets, which for this campaign is 16 countries, which make up 50% of the world's markets. And it's a very challenging issue to convey because the reality of cosmetic animal testing is very graphic. To look at the pictures, if you've ever seen them, you look away. And we really were seeking a way to raise awareness of the issue, to reach hearts and minds, and motivate action to ban this practice once and for all. And in the different countries, in the 16 countries, there are different languages, different cultures, there are different awarenesses of the issue across the board. So we were looking for a unifying communications strategy to reach all of those markets and really make a difference. And we knew that we didn't want to go the traditional route of showing images or talking about the enormity of the problem, because that is not engaging, it's not motivating, and we are really committed to enacting these bans by the end of 2023. And so we landed on stop motion and stop motion animation because it really addressed all of those different considerations that were part of this campaign. It allowed us to use the power of storytelling to reach our audience, to film it in different languages. So we would have voiceover talent from the areas that we're trying to reach, and also that would resonate in those regions. And it was quite a different way to approach it because from our viewpoint, we couldn't see another global campaign of this magnitude that ever used stop motion animation. So we were very excited by the prospect, and we brought on director Spencer Susser, who had an incredible vision for Ralph. He created Ralph. He really wrote the script in a way that brought you into Ralph. It introduced Ralph, and Ralph is charming. Ralph is very brave as he tells us about the realities of his everyday. And it doesn't hit you at the lab scene right at first. It really drew you into his world, and then it really, really hit you.
There's one in the behind the scenes video, and maybe we can show some clips from that. But I want to just mention first, there's this one statement in that behind the scenes, and I thought it was so telling about what this film was trying to do. It says, if we could let the audience in to empathize with Ralph, by the time we get to this horrible reality of his world, it will hit you in the gut and you'll feel something, and hopefully that feeling will make you want to do something.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. So let's just take a moment and go to the behind the scenes clips from the behind the scenes video.
One of my favorite things about stop motion is that you can make things come to life that aren't actually alive. You are moving an object in very small increments, photographing every step of the way. You literally have to decide what every single frame is. But the magic of it is that when it all comes together, you've created life. You've created a character that didn't exist otherwise. It's just very, very time consuming.
My name's Ralph. I'm a rabbit, as you can see.
Andy Jen is amazing. He and his team built and helped realize Ralph's very specific world.
There's been a big team involved, 24 model makers, mechanical body, mechanical head.
We looked at tons of references.
From real rabbits to famous rabbits of animation. There's an awful lot of searching to see the things that will work really well.
The most important thing for me was that he could show emotion, a puppet that can give us a great performance. Taika Waititi came on to play Ralph.
I'm blind in my right eye and this ear. Can't hear nothing but ringing now. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
He's one of the funniest guys I know and one of the most likable. That's a quality that Ralph needed to have. I was so lucky to work with Tobias Foraker, who's the most incredible animator.
When I heard about the project and what it's about, I was very keen to get involved. I was a child of the 70s, and I remember quite hard-hitting campaigns back there that relied on gruesome photographs and things like that. I remember as a child being quite shocked, and then for years just not thinking about it, and I just assumed that sort of thing didn't happen anymore.
The style of it is driven by colour and texture. Beautiful vignettes telling a very good story. It's learning how to photograph small stuff to make it stand up to scrutiny large. Ralph is only 9 inches high, but if this is projected, he will be 20 feet high.
So much detail in the sets, Ralph's props, his clothing, every bit of it was thought about. I don't believe this would work in the same way if it was computer generated. There's something that's so special about tangible, real things moving that you can't fake that.
Each frame, you know, I might have to move the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the fingers, the eyebrows, you know, so you've really got to be incredibly focused.
When we see it back, we've stopped thinking of him as a stop-motion animation puppet. It catches you off guard. You're so engrossed in what you're seeing that you've forgotten you've even made it. It's the emotional roller coaster more than anything that will strike me about this one.
I wanted to create something that made you feel, you know, and I thought that if we could let the audience in to empathize with Ralph, by the time we get to this horrible reality of his world, that it'll hit you in the guts and you'll feel something, and hopefully that feeling will make you do something about it. If this film helps end some of the suffering, that would be fantastic. That's the goal.
What an amazing process. I mean, I would love to hear as a filmmaker, just if you could take us through a little bit more about how was this put together? How, I mean, not in great detail, but if you could share with us how long this took. How did you figure out that this was going to resonate with so many countries and cultures around the world? What were some of the creative decisions that went into the making of this film?
We were seeking a filmmaking team that we could partner with to use the power of storytelling to really reach audiences in our target markets. And we had met with Jeff Vespa, who's a producer and a former colleague of ours on another advocacy campaign, and brought him on board. And soon after, Spencer Susser, the director and writer of Save Ralph, joined. And right away, Spencer had a vision for Ralph. He knew that we needed to tell the story of an individual rabbit and really use the power of stop motion animation to get that across. We worked on Ralph for about a year and worked very closely with the filmmakers, with Spencer on the scripts and the voice casting, and also conveying the realities of animal testing in order to convey it realistically and accurately in the movie, but also to make sure that Ralph's injuries were consistent and realistic. And so Andy and Spencer and the whole team at Arch Model Studios poured over graphic photos of animal testing to really make sure that Ralph's injuries were correct. And then they sent us mock-ups and models and photos to see. And so we worked very closely hand in glove with them on that process. And it took several months to build Matt Ralph and several weeks to build each of the sets, which are unbelievably intricate. And I really encourage folks to look at this film more than once because there's some really hidden gems in there. Some of the details, particularly in the bathroom scene, are just extraordinary. And so I would say it was about a year total. And then we launched the film in early April.
I think, I mean, I've watched it. I've talked to other people about this. You know, it is hard to watch at times. Did you do audience testing? Because here you're trying to reach, again, a huge audience across cultures. Did you do audience testing to figure out where that fine line was? Like, how much was too much? How much was going to, as you referenced earlier, those awful, horrific visuals that we often do see about animal testing and testing cosmetic products on animals. So this took it up to a certain point, but how did you determine what that line was?
Together, the HSI team and the filmmakers decided that we wanted to just cut at that point. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to go any further in the lab scene, and then in the locker room scene, you see the extent of Ralph's injuries there. We did do focus group testing in 3 of our key markets to determine the level of action folks were willing to take, and based on 2 scenarios of different outcomes. So, and the countries that we tested in were Singapore, Canada, and South Africa. So it gave a wide range in our markets. And the results were incredibly strong. We saw that there was very little difference between the various outcomes, and it was overwhelmingly clear that folks wanted to take action. They were going to take action. After they only saw the previs, they didn't see the actual film, they saw the previs.
Wow. You know, some of the research that we've been doing with the CEF Impact Media Research Project is looking at emotional tone. And there's really clear evidence that outrage is one of the most direct emotional tones to really inspire and be a catalyst for action. And if there's any film I've ever watched, particularly a short film, that was able to just like give that overwhelming feeling of outrage and I need to do something now, it's say Ralph. It's so strong, and yet just in 4 minutes. But I really appreciate what you're saying about the details, the brushing the teeth, the things that connect us just to him as a character and a charming character. And this kind of, in some ways, just kind of, I don't know, his destiny is his destiny. Yeah. And he just continues to go through his life. And there's just such a sense of sadness and sorrow and outrage about that it really does stir a very strong reaction.
It does. And it is the wide range of emotions, right? You're charmed, you're captivated, then it starts to sink in and you empathize. And then when he gets that knock to go to work, it's just a powerful hand through the ceiling, and he's out of his imaginary home and thrust into the reality of the lab.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the Impact campaign and how that unfolded. And I'd like to have you talk specifically about the big success story you've had in Mexico.
Sure. So Save Ralph was a very complex global campaign, as I mentioned, reaching 16 countries and different languages and laws. And we filmed Ralph in 5 languages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Vietnamese, and subtitled it in 8 languages to reach our countries. And 14 international celebrities donated their time and talent. Taika Waititi as Ralph was spectacular, and Zac Efron, Ricky Gervais, Olivia Munn, Tom Clemente, Rosario Dawson, just a wide range of folks who are really incredibly into the cause and supportive of it on social media, in media. They really helped to push out the film and the campaign broadly. We also had global, regional, and country-specific media strategies, and we received about 1,000 media stories from 50 countries, billions of impressions. And we also did market-specific social media strategies. We had a cadence of posts. We had the film, we had the teaser, we had the poster, we had the film, we had the making of Save Ralph, we had the premiere and panel discussion. So we're regularly pushing those out. And then we had celebrity influencer and supporter strategies to promote on social media. And we had obviously a big success with that, as you know, many people saw and shared the film. And then we also did targeted social media ads in country to reach petition signers. And also we, in addition to the 14 Save Ralph celebrities, we also had more than 100 celebrities, influencers, and HSI corporate partners push this out on their social channels, which helped us really reach a global audience. And in Brazil, there was a celebrity influencer Save Ralph challenge that helped lead to 1.6 million petition signatures and huge awareness of the campaign in that country.
So I have a couple of questions. One, I mean, you know, social media has really become a very strong tool for being able to affect change. So I want to talk to you more about TikTok, but let's wait on that. I would just love to know, did you have the feeling that this really was going to go viral? Did you know that that was going to happen? And what was your reaction when it did just take off?
Sure. Well, we knew that Ralph was special and truly unique. And of course, when you do campaigns like this, you always hope that you're going to have that reaction and that success, and hope that it goes viral and it's the next big thing. And when we released Save Ralph, we received a lot of media pickup, tremendous social media support. The views were going up, and we were excited that it received such a reception. And then the requests started coming in from all over the world to do Save Ralph in other versions. So to dub it in different languages, to subtitle in different languages, and literally tons of requests. And then we started seeing those videos on social media. People started dubbing and subtitling rip-off videos themselves. And then we started seeing Save Ralph merchandise, hats, t-shirts, that kind of thing on Amazon and Etsy within a couple of weeks of releasing the film. And then TikTok. HSI isn't even on TikTok. And we started getting a little bit of, word from different people. Hey, I saw this on TikTok, or my granddaughter saw this on TikTok. But it really hit close to home when my friends were visiting with their 11-year-old daughters. And they saw Ralph up on my computer screen. And the girls said, wait, why is Ralph on your screen? And I hadn't really heard about the TikTok phenomenon then, but they knew Ralph from TikTok. And I said, I kind of know Ralph a little bit. And I showed everyone the film. And at the end of the film, the parents took action and the girls went into the bathroom and grabbed all of their beauty products, their deodorants, their toothpaste, their lotion, and they looked up each one of them online to see if they had been tested on animals. And they put them in two piles, a nice pile, which hadn't been tested on animals, and a mean pile that had. And they schooled their parents on how they were going to shop from now on. And Lily, in her 11-year-old Lily in her SpongeBob t-shirt, looked at me quite seriously and said, "You know, Donna, you started a movement."
That
And
is such an amazing story. Oh my gosh.
Really, really amazing.
Wow. Wow. And you know, those girls are going to take it and they're going to run with it too and become influencers in their own right. That is, thank you for sharing that story. That's really exceptional. You know, TikTok's the newest phenomenon, right? And I think maybe one difference is that the role that influencers play, but we're seeing increasingly that TikTok can be used for massive impact campaigns to really encourage people to take action. And I think that a lot of people are surprised by this and all of a sudden looking at TikTok as, oh, wow, this should be part of our impact campaign. I'm curious, just in terms of understanding TikTok, what has been your experience with actually using it strategically as part of your impact campaign?
TikTok can clearly have great influence in an impact campaign, and we will absolutely be employing it the next time we launch a Save Ralph-like campaign, because it is reaching a whole new audience of supporters who will push out the message, who will take action, who will take it to a level that perhaps we may not have seen ourselves.
I think you and many people are thinking that, and I'm sure there'll be another platform in another 6 months from now that will be the next one that we can use as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I have a few more questions, but you did write about a specific success in Mexico. So let's talk about what was your success in Mexico and how did that come about?
Sure. HSI has been working in Mexico for many, many years on ending cosmetic animal testing in that country. And we saw Save Ralph as the opportunity to really help propel that legislation to victory. And we launched Save Ralph on April 6th, which was about 3 weeks before the end of the legislative session in Mexico. And the response to Ralph was extraordinary. Within 2 weeks, we received over 1 million petition signatures. And my colleague Anton, who's the executive director of HSI Mexico, delivered these petition signatures to the House of Deputies. And within a couple of days, that legislation passed the Health Committee right before the end of session. And just a few weeks ago, when the session reconvened, the bill passed the Health Commission in the Senate, and then a week later, unanimously passed the full plenary of the Senate. This made Mexico the first country in North America to end cosmetic testing on animals.
I hope the US and Canada follow suit soon.
Absolutely, and so do we.
And it's such a victory. I mean, really, and for that to happen in such a short amount of time, again, illustrates not just how powerful Save Ralph is as a film, but the orchestrated campaign around it. And to be able to get that many signatures, catalyst for action through the film, and then the campaign that you built. I'm really, congratulations. It's
Thank
such a
you.
success. Are there any other successes that you'd like to talk about, particularly with the Save Ralph campaign?
Sure. Save Ralph has helped to bring great awareness to cosmetic animal testing all over the globe, and especially in our target countries. In Chile, we've received hundreds of thousands of petition signatures, and our legislation, which has wide-ranging support, it's bipartisan support, regulatory support, and support of the cosmetics industry, just a few weeks ago passed the Health Commission. So there's clearly movement, and we're planning to do more in Chile to help to push that bill. And in Canada, Save Ralph has opened doors for key meetings with critical decision makers. And there's a federal election coming up in Canada, and both of the parties have included cosmetic animal testing on their legislative platforms, which is so positive for us. And in Brazil, where there was that celebrity influencer challenge and 1.6 million petition signatures, really putting the issue on the map in Brazil, we've seen our legislation advance, and we're really hopeful for progress in that country as well.
Bravo. I mean, that's just congratulations.
Thank
You know,
you.
it's rare to see a campaign that is so targeted, specifically targeted, with the goal of stopping the use of animals, testing animals for cosmetics, and yet have such an enormous global impact.
Yeah.
It's a model for so many other filmmakers and organizations of what can happen when you hit it right on the nose with you know, an incredible film like Say Ralph, but also with the network that you have. You've talked or alluded to a number of different partners that helped roll out the campaign, that helped to get it into specific countries. Could you talk a little bit about just how important that those alliances and partnerships are?
Absolutely. HSI has staff in the countries and regions where we're working on the legislation, and we partner with PR agencies, we partner with other NGOs to really help to create those market-specific strategies for pushing out Save Ralph. We also work with corporate partners. Corporate partnerships are an essential part of our strategy because companies typically don't want to test on animals. It's mandated by law. And so they're helping us to not only push for legislation in countries, but they're also working with us in partnership to develop non-animal safe testing methods for cosmetics and their ingredients. And we have incredible partners like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Lush, Avon, and a number of others who are standing shoulder to shoulder with us in many of these countries to help pass these laws.
That's great. It does take a global village of all
Absolutely.
all layers. I'm curious, just to come back to the idea that people took Safe Ralph around the globe and created their own memes, their own merchandise. It seems like it wasn't that long ago when that would have been a big no-no, and there would have been corporate lawyers all over that saying, no, you can't do that. What shifted, and what's your view on that?
Well, it really did have become a life of its own. And there are, I would say, thousands of Ralph videos in different languages and subtitled and dubbed in different languages. Also, the merchandise is out there, and the artwork, not only the Save Ralph art that is floating around on social media, but also murals in Istanbul and graffiti in Chile. And It's really incredible. I don't even think we have a grasp on just how big this is because it's just so hard to track. But it became globally viral so quickly that you just have to kind of go with it.
So I was going to ask what's next for Ralph, but it sounds to me like there's already a Save Ralph diaspora around the globe, and that Ralph will have a life of his own for a long, long time to come.
Sure. He's going to be busy this fall with legislatures coming back into session. We're continuing to roll out different assets and elements of Ralph to help us advance our legislation, particularly in Chile and Brazil. And we're also getting Ralph ready for his starring role in the EU campaign to defend the ban. In 2013, HSI helped get a ban on cosmetic animal testing in the European Union and is currently under threat by chemical regulators who want to restart cosmetic animal testing. And so we're getting Ralph out there sometime soon and having him help us there. And Ralph is appearing in film festivals, including Jackson Wild, and in the US, in Canada, and in the EU, as well as coming up soon in Latin America. He's going to be busy.
A busy rabbit, yes.
Yeah.
He's going to be busy, and you will. I keep using your campaign with Ralph. It feels like Ralph is such a real character person. I want to see him up on the red carpet accepting his Oscar.
That's what we hope too.
So I think everybody is struggling these days with figuring out how to evaluate and measure success. What are those benchmarks? What are those metrics? So it would be great if you could share with us, particularly for a campaign that's this global and this multi-layered. How do you really track the success of such a campaign?
So we measure success based on a few different factors: number of petition signatures and social media metrics like number of shares and other KPIs to really help us understand how it's getting out there and help to measure that awareness. Media articles and of course when bills are passed and become law.
Yeah, that really is the bottom line when you've actually been able to change policy. We talk a lot about getting ratings or likes, but then you go beyond, you see the shares, that it's going more and more viral. But bottom line is, has it really made a difference or not? And those policy changes are so clearly evidence of the success of your campaign.
Absolutely. And under the policy umbrella, in addition to changing laws, it's also those milestones along the way, like getting meetings with key decision makers, having bills go through committee, milestones like that are just as important to track and see how Ralph is helping us to advance the legislation.
And then I'll come back to just what can we all do? And I think your anecdote of the 11-year-olds is exactly what we can all do. We can go right this minute to our cupboards and look at our products and make sure that they're products that are not using animals for testing.
Of course, and I invite everyone to go to our website, hsi.org/Ralph. And there they can watch the film, they can learn more about the issue, and of course, they can take action and sign the petition.
Again, congratulations to you and the team. I mean, what a tremendous, creative, really powerful film and campaign that you've put together. So I really congratulate you and congratulations on your win at Jackson Wild for the Impact Campaign recognition.
Thank you. It is truly an honor to have that recognition and wonderful to be here, Maggie. Thank you.
My pleasure.